So in this Q&A, what's the best way to become a professional gambler? Okay, so typically I normally avoid these kind of questions because the reality is not many people make this. It's a very framed question, if you like, in a sense that, in a manner that I don't really like. So they say 5% of people make it. I would probably estimate it's even less than that. When I say make it, obviously that's quite subjective as to what do you mean by make it? Do you mean, and you say become a pro gambler there. What is a pro gambler? Is that 20 grand a year, 50 grand a year, 100 million pounds? Who knows? It's very subjective to the person's answer, but most people lose, and I hate it because every now and then, not necessarily frequently, but every now and then I get somebody that emails me and says, hey, would you like to use my Betfair account because it's 50 grand negative and you won't have to pay a load of premium charge on it. And them emails just make my stomach churn because that's completely not what I'm all about. It's not what I'm interested to, and that's not why I come into trading initially in the first place. So the other thing to add to that, really, I guess, having been in and around the gambling industry for a little while now, I'm not directly in it like some of the betting firms are, but there's a lot of false stuff out there. There's a lot of affiliates, sites and review sites and stuff like that going, oh, we provide these great reviews and tell you what's the best stuff. Reality is, a lot of the time, they're just there to try and flog you something and get a commission for it. I don't ever want to see myself going down that route where I start suggesting things just for financial gain. So reality is, I think you might need to take a step back and take a reality check a little bit on that question there, the way it's written. And I may be reading that wrong, so I apologise if I am. But, the chances of becoming a pro gambler, especially via the routes that you mentioned, is quite unlikely. However, if you're still hell-bent on becoming a pro gambler, after that little answer there, then I can suggest a few things to help you out, which has obviously been part and parcel of my trading journey into full-time trading. So, first of all, stop looking at what everyone else is doing. Stop looking at what everyone else is doing. Stop reading the affiliate articles and expecting to get a load of help from them because, yeah, there's nuggets in there that are helpful. Yes, there's some helpful advice in places, but at the end of the day, it's not necessarily what you think. You need to take a contrarian approach. You need to go against the grain. You need to find your own way. And, to be part of the 5%, you need to behave like part of the 5%. And so that means doing the complete opposite to the other 95%. Common sense when you think about it, really. You need to think outside of the box is what I'm trying to say here. That may require putting in the hours, putting in a lot of time reading the markets and maybe white papers and articles that are not necessarily in front of you from all of these other news sources, if you want to call them that, like Odds Checker and stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm sure they serve a purpose and you might get better odds in places for it, but at the end of the day, I'd say 99% of it is waffle. Absorb as much information as possible and draw your own conclusions from that, because a lot of the pro gamblers that have managed that, trust me, they've not done it via reading articles on Odds Checker. Ignore the crowd and go the other way is basically what I'm saying. However, also you want to bear in mind things like information and the different feeds you've got on offer. A lot of these pro gamblers that have made money over time, it's because they've had access to a unique circle of people that have had extra information, or maybe they've had faster information feeds. They've had the bookie feeds before the bookies have got them, or they've been on course, they've been courtside. It's not necessarily the way they make money or have made money is not necessarily the way in which you expect that they have. It's certainly not how they portray it in the Racing Post, where they turn around and say, oh, well, if you just read the form a little bit better than everyone else, you'll make a load of money. That is not the case. And at the end of the day, Racing Post is just another affiliate, as I mentioned at the beginning of this clip. So what I'm trying to say is you need to carve out your own niche, carve out your own way, put in the work, look at all the information on offer and find the route that is probably quite opposite to everyone else. So hopefully there's some strong hints there, but the reality is, if we go all the way back to the beginning of this clip, the reality is you're probably not going to make it, and I would say in the way and tone you've written that message, you're certainly not going to make it like that.